going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, 410 Gaming. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about mods and the Armor 2.0 build system. I've done a lot of work the past 2 or 3 weeks trying to like master out builds and stuff like that for PvE and PvP. So we're going to kind of dive into it, and I'm basically going to, I know there's like a lot of confusion around it and like how the different elements and everything like that affect it and how you can build and what the best way to do it is. So I'm going to let you guys know, and let's get right into it. So here we are, basically with the new Armor 2.0 system, there's thousands of build possibilities, as you guys probably know. We have the 6 main stats back now. Mobility, which increases movement speed and stuff. Resilience, which helps with your total shield. Recovery, which is how fast your shields come back. Discipline, which decreases your grenade ability. Intellect for your super, and of course strength for your melee. So those are kind of the 6 main perks that kind of came out with the original game in D1. So those are all back, and then each piece of armor rolls with those stat lines. Basically up to 100 is what you're trying to get here on each stat. So you'll see here right now I have 67 out of 100 mobility. Now the thing to remember is that it only goes in stacks of 10. So right now I have 67, so that's a waste of 7 points basically on an armor piece. So that 24%, it doesn't matter if I'm at 60 or if I'm at 69. It's gonna stay the same regardless. So really you want to keep these numbers rounded off as much as possible. Like this one is at 40 out of 100, which is perfect. So when you're going into like really finalizing your builds and finding like those last pieces, that's what you're going to be looking towards. Aside from the basic stat line, each armor piece is built off of a 10-point perk system basically. So you'll see that I have 10 energy on this one, but other pieces will have less. So you basically have to upgrade your armor. So to upgrade your armor, you're just going to come in and basically upgrade here. It's going to cost legendary shards at first, all the way up, and then it's going to start costing, as you keep going, legendary shards, it'll increase by more, and then it'll start costing enhancement cores up to here, and then prisms to 7, and then I'll just upgrade this since this is a good piece of armor. But I'm not going to use, I don't have any enhancement shards, but that's going to masterwork it. So basically, as you can see right now, the green extra on my stat line, it's going to add 2 once you hit that 10 energy and masterwork the armor, it's going to add 2 to each slot, which gives you a total for a 12 boost. So you'll see when you're trying to pick out armor, so you'll see these boots are a 61 total stat roll, right? Off the bat, no mods or masterwork on it. So this one's like a 54, so not as good. 53, not good. You know what I mean? So 57, not bad. Really, you're looking for those base stats that are 60 or higher. And then also you want to make sure that it has good stat rolls. So like if it's 60, it doesn't matter. Like if I'm a warlock, I don't really use strength that much. So if this was just maxed out strength, that wouldn't really help me all that much. So I wait and try and find things with like mobility, recovery, and intellect. Those are like my 3 main roles for the build that I'm currently working on. We'll talk about builds in other videos. And then also when you're going through mods, make sure you remember that if you put on an intellect mod or any of these general stat mods, they're going to add 10. So I have an intellect mod on, which adds 10, and I have the masterwork, which adds 12, for a total of 22 on top of the base roll, which means that this, since this is at 83 minus the 22, and this was a 61 stat roll from the stock. So those are you kind of have to do those number breakdowns, because sometimes you'll get armor that has mods on it, or you won't realize you already have mods on it, and you'll be like, oh, it's a 61, but really you had like an intellect mod on it, so it's actually only a 51, and it's actually a terrible piece of armor. These high stat rolls can be found in raids and whatnot, and that's going to be the best way to really find it in high, like, pinnacle gear. So Iron Banner is a great way to find mods and stuff like that. So for this 10-point system, you're going to see that each mod has a unique number assigned to it. So you'll see this pulse rifle loader only costs 1 energy, so I can put it in with just 1 slot. Whereas bigger mods, especially like more generic mods, such as this one, which affects any rifle class, will require 5 energy costs. So it's important to keep this in mind when building out your loadout. So let's kind of get into the energy types. Now that you guys have a breakdown of how the armor works, the simplest way I've found to break down which mods can go on which kinds of pieces of armor is to split it up into 2 categories. The first category being the energy type, which in this case would be fire, and the second one being the slots, so leg armor. Those are going to determine what mods you can put on each type of gear. Every energy type and every armor slot have a unique set of perks that can be put on it. So it's going to be very important to collect different sets of each energy type in each slot. You'll see here I have a void helmet, a solar helmet, and arc helmets, all with pretty high stat rolls. So on screen, you'll see a pretty useful graphic for you guys. Feel free to screenshot it. It really helps me out, especially when you're just on the fly trying to put your builds together. As you can see, this is a breakdown of the two categories. So step 1 is category 1, which is the energy slot, and that's going to be your void, solar, or arc. As you can see, the different gun types correlate to the energy slot. So this is going to be really important for your builds, and honestly, it kind of has changed the way that we go about making builds. Ideally, you're going to want to choose for your loadout 2 guns from each slot. Maybe you choose to rock a hand cannon and a sniper in Crucible. Then you're going to want to try and build out a void set so that you can have perks that accommodate that loadout. Or maybe in PvE, you're rocking a machine gun and a pulse rifle. So you're going to try and rock some arc. Ideally, you are going to want to try and use 2 weapons from the same category. That's going to help you in the long haul for building out the best set of perks. But don't worry, if you have a loadout that has guns in different energy types, there are general mods that can affect multiple guns from different energy types. The only problem is that these general mods do require increased energy per mod. So once you have determined the energy slot needed to support your loadout, the next step is going to be picking the mods on each armor slot. A certain type of mods can only be applied to certain slots. For example, targeting and ammo finder are found on the helmet. Depending on your loadout and what game type you're doing, these mods are going to be more or less useful to you. For example, if you're running a sniper, obviously targeting is going to help you out a lot. So I always recommend using sniper targeting or enhanced sniper targeting if you guys have it. But if you're running Crucible, the ammo finder and the reserve mods that are on the head and the chest aren't going to be nearly as useful to you as the scavenger mods that are located on the boots. So you're going to want to be sure to set aside points in your leg armor to find extra ammo for your loadouts. The last mod slot on each piece of armor also contains a unique activity mod. These basically are going to help you in individual activities. For example, I have Voltaic Mote Collector, which helps me in the Garden of Salvation, along with the Relay Defender. But once again, not every activity mod can go on each energy type. As you can see, the tether resistant mods are not located on this void piece. Those are simply energy specific to arc class armor. Once again, making it very important that you stack multiple sets of each element type. Armor 2.0 also brought on the seasonal artifact, which gives us access to unique mods that otherwise wouldn't be found in the general pool. Some of my favorite mods that can be found here are the enhanced loader mods, specifically for the fusion rifle and the submachine gun, great for Recluse. The great thing about these mods is they require only 1 energy cost, whereas enhanced loader mods of other class types normally would cost 4 to 5 energy, making these highly efficient. As you can see, I was able to put a recovery mod, the enhanced submachine gun loader, a momentum transfer, and a Dream Bay mod on, and still have room for 1 more point. An enhanced rocket launcher mod would cost 6 energy alone and would make me have to sacrifice all my other mods in order to use it. The class item is also very specific because it doesn't have any stat rolls. This is simply for mods. So once you have 1 piece of armor in each type, I recommend kind of just maxing it out because then you can just infuse. You'll never have to worry about stat rolls. 2 of the most powerful mods in the game right now that come from the artifact are Thunder Coil and Oppressive Darkness. So be sure to check those out if you guys haven't already. So now that you guys have an understanding of the mod system and how it all works, where can we get these mods? So the first thing you can do is, a lot of you may not know, but in the collections, they've actually changed it around and they've added an entire mod section, which is awesome. So now you can come in here and kind of plan out your builds a little more and see which ones you have and which ones you don't. So you can come in here and find all the different armor mods, and it will tell you where you can get the mods if you're missing them. For example, these are from Banshee 44. So if you head over to the gunsmith, you can kind of check them out, and every day he's going to offer 2 mods, which right here, I try to buy them every time because it basically takes them out of the loot pool, which helps you find more mods quickly. Also, you can purchase gunsmith rewards and have a chance for mods to drop for you here. This is going to be the fastest way to get mods. Any mod that says it's from Banshee 44, these are in the general loot pool, which means it can also be found from general activities such as strikes and Crucible. Enhanced mods, however, are only found from pinnacle activities, such as Iron Banner and Nightfalls, so be sure to hop in there to try and farm out these extremely powerful mods. So yeah, guys, that's a basic rundown through the whole Armor 2.0 system and all the mods. Hopefully that clears up a lot of questions you guys may have had. I know like some of it was very beginner in the beginning, but hopefully you guys learned something. If you did, be sure to drop a like, hit subscribe. We're gonna have a lot more in-depth like builds coming out for like what to rock specifically for Crucible or for like specific raids or nightfalls and different things like that. So that's all coming soon, but just wanted to get this general guide out as like a baseline starting point for anyone who needs some help with the mod system and getting started with their builds. So good luck out there. Let me know what you guys come up with your builds. Send us some screenshots or something, and we'd love to check it out and help you guys if you have any more questions. So see you guys next time. Peace.